it is wise to have someone with experience when you decide to get the job done. Stay tuned for this one, everyone. Welcome everyone to the Your Little Castle show. I enjoy getting to know the experts in our community that are leading the way. You've been doing this. Welcome our guest here, everybody. We get people that are experts from all over the world, but Kurt has been doing this for 45 years. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
In the industry of building and homes and all that stuff.
Construction, roofing, all those fun things.
Yeah.
So that's who we're going to learn a lot here. We've got a half-hour set. We're going to have his son come in here in maybe later today, maybe later this week. Mm-hmm. I do have time today. Cardinals wrapping up their season. They are off today, and so that makes it a little easier for us.
They probably need a rest.
It's been a long season for the Cardinals. They get up there, they get close, and it's
riding the wave, baby.
That's right, but they're an institution too. Yesterday we were hanging out with David Freeze after the game.
Oh,
We had a little private event, and David called me out. And I said, "Hey, there's my man." But Dave and I go way back from doing stuff. We'll play that video a little bit for everybody too.
Yeah, I met Bill DeWitt and stuff, and sat in them seats along third base before they put all them fences up and all that jazz.
Yeah, they got the netting up there now. It takes away a little bit. I was look at the other end, like, man, remember we used to be able to just look out there, but that's part of the safety they need to keep in place, so we understand that.
And it's a well-needed thing because everybody's so happy nowadays.
That's for sure. Well, we're going to give a shout-out to our sponsors because we couldn't do this without them, but Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle, and maybe your little castle with as many years as Kurt has been doing this, was built or constructed or rehabbed or new roof by Kurt and CPA Roofing. But also, a lot of people these days do start to invest in precious metals. I was working with Curtis last night, and he and I were talking. But if you want to learn about that, go to goldcowboy.com. Gold is going crazy.
It has.
You follow gold. Sounds like we got
been buying coins like
like you see up here. we got. You don't get this one. This one's a Cardinal Cowboy coin. It's got
there you go.
It's got a little Cardinal Cowboy character on there.
Yeah, but, Carter, my slogan used to be, "Let us turn your hassle back into your castle."
There, see, the castle comes up for everybody. Yeah. With that, let's put your guys' website up here. You've got a website. Your son has taken over that process too, and then we have a bunch of good things that people say about you also. So we're going to put up your Facebook page there too.
Right.
That's generally where people get information about the businesses that are out there. So with that, tell me how long you said. I already gave it away a little bit.
Right.
You've been doing this 45 years. What led you to this? This is something you just woke up
when I was a kid? Working with a buddy of mine. He was a spec builder, so we went in and we built everything. We didn't do the foundations, but we helped set them up and dig them, and we'd do everything but electrical and heating and cooling, and plumbing. So
everything, including electrical, heating, and plumbing. All right. And you see, including that, or is that the only thing?
We did not do that.
The only thing you didn't do. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and you got the whole house, and you got all those pieces put together.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a lot of facets that take it to build it. So
that's important. Well, that's what we talk about. All right. Well, then, were you a kid? Were you handy with? We had a guest the other day who talked about how he loved Legos. What was how you were intrigued about?
Erector sets and stuff like that. Most people don't know what those are, probably.
I've heard of them. Yeah. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So you just make things out of them, and sometimes you'd make them do like cranes or such and stuff like that, or different things you could do with them, just like Legos pretty much, but with metal.
I remember the erector sets. They had like metal screws and everything.
They did.
So you could actually assemble things like they do these days with putting.
And nowadays, if somebody's going to get hurt or cut or something.
Yes, we have a
sharp edges.
Little more sensitive culture, I think. That may get into that a little more.
Like another one you might remember is those lawn darts. You threw them, and they were pretty dangerous, I guess.
those were big lawn darts too. Those things were this long.
Oh my goodness!
But it was fun. You still threw those into the circle or whatever, and you get a point. It's kind of like cornhole we play now, right?
Right.
Back in
right.
the horseshoes, we've all done.
Absolutely.
We're going way back here, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of explains it.
Yeah.
But that gave you that background. That you
Yeah.
developed your interest right there. Did you go straight into this out of high school, or what did you?
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. Did the union for about 22 years and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And then when did you start your own company?
I started back in 2008, 100% of myself, but I always dabbled in it back in the 80s. I had a GC license and a roofing license in Florida when I lived down there too.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah, getting those licenses is important. A GC meaning general contractor,
yes,
right?
and roofing, just because like a general contractor, he can build a house and all this and that, but he can't pull a roofing permit or a license. So
Oh, really?
down in Florida, you have to get all your own licenses, and pull them and all that stuff. So.
Okay. Well, the licensing process. Some people think that's important, so that
I think they should do it here, really. I mean, that would keep a lot of the people that show up that go to these ABC, Arrowhead, and Lowe's and all that. They can't even make a list of what to do. They hand it to them. Here's the insurance paperwork. Can you tell me what I need to do to order this? So.
Well, that's kind of what is the world we live in. If you want to pick up a truck and get a ladder, then you can do that.
Yep.
And start off. But given your history, what do you love most about what you do now these days? What is it that makes you wake up?
I like that you're moving around. You're not the same place all the time. You get to meet new people and a lot of repeat customers and stuff. And referrals are great. Insurance companies even refer us to all their clients and say, hey, give them a call, and these guys will take good care of you. So that says something. So.
Yeah, I'll say that's a lot to do with the reputation you've developed now. You've got people that they just say, this is who you can trust, this is who you can go to.
Absolutely.
What part of St. Louis do you focus on? Is there
mostly west out there, and Chesterfield, do Innsbrook, we do Warren County, we do Montgomery County, and we go all around them areas, St. Charles County. And we stick to pretty much that. We try not to go over there a lot because of traffic and stuff. It makes it a lot tougher. And a lot of the houses are a lot smaller too, So.
I gotcha. Yeah, the size of the roof has impact on what their budget might be too. And so then you founded this company yourself?
I did.
What year did you found?
I started in Missouri in 2008.
Oh, it was 2008 also. Okay. And then since then, so now you're talking. Wow, you're getting close to 20 years now. You're coming up on 2026, everybody. We're late in 2000. Things go. Time flies when you're having fun, they say.
It does, yep. And like I said, we're just blessed, and we're just every day the phone rings,
Right. That's good. Yeah. Well, again, that goes back to what we like to emphasize. That is, build that reputation, do the job correctly, and then the work will come your way. And so that's what we've kind of experienced. And
absolutely.
When you help people, things are generally, life is a little easier. Is that true?
Do what you say and say what you do, and there shouldn't be a problem.
All right, write that one down. Do what you say and say what you do. That'll keep you out of trouble and get the job done. We appreciate that. Okay, well then we noticed that you've been around for a while, so you do have a Facebook page. We'll show that to everybody. But you also have some reviews here too, or some on the BBB. And the BBB, how has the BBB helped serve you a little bit? Is that something?
They do send occasional leads out and stuff like that. The thing is, you got to claim them, and sometimes they might be within a 50-mile radius. So if you have time, you can do that. But sometimes it's people just like buying a car, kicking the tires, and then they don't want to. Oh, I didn't plan on getting phone calls, and then they call you a month later. Oh, can you come by? I'm ready to do something. So,
I gotcha.
Yeah, it's not the greatest concept, but it works,
But you do have an A+ rating there. We found you on the BBB.
Yep.
And you've been doing this. It shows you how long you've been doing this now. And there's that A+ rating. So that adds a little credibility to what you're doing.
And if people are going to complain, they'll let them know
they'll
either
let
way.
them know. The BBB will be giving you a call.
Yeah, even if you're not accredited, they still can complain about you.
Really? Okay. Nice. Well, with your reputation and being out there for a long time, it looks like it's kind of worked in your favor a little bit. Something that keeps you.
Man, like I said, I'm blessed. I just try to do the best I can on everything. So.
Do the best you can on everything. There we go. If everybody just gave their full effort to get to that next level, then we'd all be a lot further along. But so many people get stuck in life and then don't make it happen. But that's why we like bringing on leaders like this that can emphasize that and show the success you've had. Somebody's been in business now since 2008, and been in the industry for 45 years.
Yeah, long
You
time.
probably know what you're doing. You could give a few words of advice to some people.
Well, I probably forgot a lot of things that people are never going to learn. So.
I've heard that. That makes sense too, because by the time you put it in, boy, it's hard to remember what you did yesterday, but that consistency and what you can continue to produce helps you to make for a good quality product that people will enjoy. Is that true?
Yes, yeah. And I find that if you're fairly competent in doing something and you got enough knowledge to at least watch a video, you can watch on YouTube or Google or whatever and figure it out if you got a pretty good imagination. So.
Right, and then that experience shows you that what you're going to have to overcome. So many times people talk about they can learn from YouTube, but it's when you run into a problem, what do you do?
Yes,
That's
once
when
you
you
get
experience
past the part that says, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, that's where they pay you, everybody. They pay you to know how to fix the problems that you may run into. And what do you say, what do you enjoy most about your construction? What would you say are the things you do the most that you
helping
enjoy?
people out, and knowing that you gave a good effort to do the best you can for them, and you're rebuilding something that's total catastrophic peril for them, and you're telling them it'll be all right, we'll get it taken care of, and letting the insurance allow them time to pay them and not pushing them for money or something. A lot of people may do that, but we got credit, so we kind of work with everybody, and sometimes the insurance doesn't want to pay out right away, or they drag their feet, and it's good to know that we can afford to do that, so being in business as long as we have to help people out and not press them, so.
Sure, yeah. How often is the case that they dealing with insurance? Insurance is something that that's not something, if you don't know what you're doing there, you might not be getting fully what you've paid for over the years. You pay many years, every year your insurance is usually incorporated in your mortgage payment, right?
Some of people, yeah.
And so why is insurance so important?
It's important that you have the coverage, because what the industry would cost nowadays, it just keeps going up and up and up, and we've had rates of increase on materials 4 to 5 times a year sometimes, and that varies from 15 all the way up to 25%. So the industry has to keep up with that, and if you didn't have that out of pocket, you're thinking, oh, my last roof was only $10,000. Well, now it's $17,000. So it could be.
Wow, that's the increases in inflation and just the cost to do business continue to rise. You don't want to have to put that out of your own pocket. That's why you make sure you have the proper insurance. What are some of the variables is every insurance policy the same? Obviously not true. Tell me some of the differences people should look for there.
Well, some insurance companies, they won't tell you this, but they hit a quota, and they really try not to pay out, and then unbeknownst to you, you're thinking, oh, they're going to cover me, and they don't. They'll buy the fascia, the soffit, the gutters, the siding, and then all these different things on your roof, but the roof itself didn't get damaged at all. It went unscathed, so figure that.
Interesting. I guess I've run into that too, and it seemed like that's why you want to make that claim earlier on in the process when that storm hits, because they do kind of hit that quota per se, and then they're saying, we've covered enough houses here.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, if they're doing the right thing by you, you're paying. People always say, well, I've had you 50 years. Come on, this is the first time I made a claim, or something, and they're like, well, I'm not seeing enough damage, and there's certain ones that just try to bully them over, and you're your best advocate sometimes at that point, So
is it worth having an expert like yourself
absolutely
to advocate with them?
Yeah, we're your best, to advocate against them, because you don't do this every day, and we do. So
Right.
And it's basically becomes a game of kickball. Well, I'm going to pay for this, but I don't want to pay for that.
Game of kickball, everybody. Write that one down. Yeah. Who's going to kick it back? And you're going to take it? No, we're going to take it. Yeah. Something to be wary of. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about our fun we do in the community. We had some recent fun out inside of Busch Stadium with some kids. They were going to throw out the first pitch for the Cardinal game. So take a little check on what we're doing here with you.
I have no voice.
Hey everybody, we've got some baseball players in the building here. Who's your guys? All right, first of all, let's talk about who's your guys' favorite player? Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper. Tyler. Last name? Mason Wynn. Fernando Tatis Jr. Aaron Judge. Who'd you get? Rice. All right. So we got a Cardinal fan in there. You guys are from the Misfits, right? You guys are from down close to Paducah, Kentucky, right? How long a drive was it to get up there? Only a couple. It wasn't that long. Hey, like I said, when you get older, you start playing big league ball and traveling on for stuff. It's gonna be a lot longer drives. You'll be okay for that. We're gonna pay you well. Okay? You ready? All right. So
his name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up. Well, there we go. We get a lot of fun stuff we get to do in the community. And if you're looking to invest, check it out. Our guys there, they go to Gold Cowboy. And we do a lot of work there. We're going to highlight some businesses, put them on the big leagues, big double G, BIGG leagues.com, highlighting those businesses that are doing a good job in our community. Well, let's talk about it here. I can only imagine that many people are like, well, what does it cost these days? What is it? Give me, I call it a cost analysis. Mm-hmm. And you talked about that a little bit in the first half of the show, but what is it that really people, is there anybody, you can't cut corners on a roof?
No,
if you
do,
shouldn't. Where do you cost yourself, and why should somebody spend the money necessary to make sure that their roof is repaired properly? Give me that cost breakdown, if you would.
Well, the cost breakdown, average size roof, let's say 40 squares. It'll run you about $20,000 or so, $24,000 at the most. And you got to put certain things that are code upgrades, and that's an important thing to know whether your insurance covers that, because a lot of them aren't covering it. It's called ordinance and law.
Oh,
so
wow.
If they don't cover that, the code upgrade, you're out of pocket, and it could be a few $1,000s, you know. So if you don't have it, yeah. And
hadn't heard that. I've had a few roofing guys on here, not that they didn't, but we just didn't cover that. So ordinance and law, and that's literally like these are the codes that have to be
followed by
followed
IBC, the International Building Service, you know. So Yeah, and it's all across the whole United States. It's not just here in Missouri. I mean, that's just something that they need to follow, and municipalities can choose to adopt them or not. So that's kind of a thing that you got to make sure that your insurance covers that, because there's a lot of them that aren't covering it, and they'll be like, "Hey, Carter, I'm gonna save you a couple $100 a year on your insurance. That sounds like a good idea." "Oh yeah, yeah," but he neglected to tell you, "I'm taking that off of there for you. You're not going to be covered by ordinance and law code. That's going to be out of your pocket, you know."
So it's an insurance rider, I guess, or a policy within it?
They used to be just part of it, but nowadays they take that out, you know. So.
And so then, and I guess so people understand when there's a new code requirement, they have to use underlayment or
Yep,
ice and water
ice
shield,
and
those
water,
kinds of things.
and drip edge and
Drip
stuff
edge.
like that.
And they can say, "Oh yeah,
and ventilation. You know,
we're not going to cover those upgrades. You got to
No.
pay those out of your pocket."
And for instance, like St. Louis and even some parts of the older St. Charles County, they have the old one-bys that they used to take and build the roof with. Well, them one-bys over time start shrinking, and you can stick your hand down in there and stuff like that. So you have to put a solid sheathing over it to bring it up to code. Well, that could be $4,000 or something on your house, you know, to put all that plywood on there, because eventually them gaps keep getting bigger. Well, you're going to nail along, and eventually you're going to hit one of them things if you don't do it, and the space is going to create a leak, you know. So
That's not what people want on their house.
no, but people will go right over it again and say, "Okay, you don't want to pay for it."
One by, so that seems like that's a board. It's
So it's one by
instead of
one
2
inch.
by 4. It's a
Well, it's a 1 inch thick, and it could be 8 or 10 or 6 inches, you know. And they used to back in the day, use them for forming the foundation walls. See.
all right. We're talking about how
So
we're helping the community.
Then they'd take them off and then put them on your roof instead of wasting them, you know.
Really,
So yeah.
somebody's been doing this for a few years.
Yeah.
You know that some of the old tricks of the trade that they used to get away with,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's just the integrity. It just doesn't seem like one by. That's not a very thick board. So, but that's what they would use to
No,
support.
but that's what they had, you know. So that's what they did.
Not wasting anything, but also not building with the most integral.
And then the other thing is a cosmetic, they call it damage. If you have gutters or something and any metal things like just your cover for your water heater, your chimney cap and all that, they say, "Oh, it's cosmetic. We're not going to replace your gutters unless they're ripped right off or something like that," you know, where they used to cover them with no problem, you know, so.
Aha, interesting. Yeah, there's just a lot of the tricks of the trade that if you're not an expert, this is why you want to hire somebody when you've got a. We've had recently a couple tornadoes come here. That was a
We have.
rare time in the history of Missouri, St. Louis, but this kind of damage is done. You better know what you're talking about, or else you end up with people cutting corners on you, chucking a truck, they call it, right? And you get your tail light warranty. Have you heard of that? That's where your tail that your warranty is as good as long as you can see their tail lights.
Once you can't see the tail lights, yeah, and then unfortunately it runs so true in a lot of this stuff. So
not what you should be expecting. Well, tell me, why would somebody? By now, people are probably going, "Okay, obviously, we know we got some experts in the building here that are good at what they do." So, Kurt, they would say, "Hey, why should somebody choose you? What sets you apart?" I guess experience and a number of things.
Experience, Better Business Bureau rated. We've done a lot of homes 4 and 5 times over the years, you know, complete, you know, so we stay up with the codes. We follow the insurance industry to make sure that they are getting properly paid out, you know, and by honestly, how many times you look at your insurance policy?
Never.
Yeah,
Right.
only when you buy it. You know, so.
First time I get my insurance.
Does anybody even know what a declarations page is? It's like the first page inside the cover that says,
Shows everything.
"This is what your coverage is." But how many times you get that out and look at it after a storm and say, "Well, Carter, let's check and see."
That deck page, they call it, right?
Yeah.
So this is the coverages. Here's your deductible and those kinds of things that have to be accounted for. And then people start saying, "Wait a minute, what other car?" I didn't realize they could omit the updates that are necessary.
Oh, yeah.
Because the code. These are all little caveats that experts like yourself bring to the table. I had never heard that one. That's an interesting one because
That happens every day.
I know they have to match those many times, but
Yeah, and then speaking of match, there's another one that you can get. Some policies allow it, some don't. matching coverage. How many times you drive around the neighborhood and you see this front of the house has got a little damage on it, but they didn't replace any of the other siding to match it, you know, and it's old and wore out, and they don't care, you know. So
Keeping up with the Joneses literally there, but
Yeah.
that has to do with when that damage was created and how they got it fixed. And said, oh, we don't need to do that update, even though it keeps them in kind of standard with the
And
neighborhood.
things like this, a tornado that just came in down here in St. Louis. What was the first thing Keogh got on there? Governor Keogh says, "Hey, insurance companies, you need to take care of these people," and yet it's still not happening, you know. So
Wow. Even with the governor stepping up and saying something about it.
right out the gate, he said that, you know. So yeah, so I mean, they know, you know. You get up there in Jeff City, they got an insurance complaint place, you know, that watches over all the insurance industries. And
Right.
I've had people, I say, give them a call, tell them you're having trouble. And they say, let me guess, oh, you're calling this at State Farm's your trouble? We know that, you know, or whoever it is, they're used to hearing that, you know. So it's
Yeah,
a
'cause
shame.
Every
you know.
big insurance company out there has got some time when they had something they had to address, and
Yeah.
did it through the state of Missouri.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, keep all the insurance companies on the ball, but get yourself an expert that can make sure that they do that for you, because if you're not up to speed, how would you know? So,
But advocate for yourself and look through that insurance policy and question your agent, because they don't really keep up with it, you know, and you keep renewing by mail, and then you read something that says, well, we're going to save you a few bucks and take that off. You don't even know it's missing, you know, so.
hey, we made an update to your policy, but by the way, wow, okay, well, tell me then, that leads to my next question. As we finish up our first half hour, I think we're going to have your son in maybe later today. We'll talk to him. What's his first name?
Blake.
Blake. Have Blake come in here and talk to us a little bit about this. But what is the biggest mistake that consumers make? Is it not getting properly?
doing their due diligence on a company, you know. Make sure they're based here in Missouri and they don't show up with tags from Idaho, you know, Illinois, or all over the United States, because you see that, you know, and you know, that happens every day. So
Yeah. So then when you have, and the real issue is there by the time if you have a problem, who's going to fix it? Is that the issue?
well, that's your tail light warranty.
That's your tail light warranty right there. You want to make sure that there's something that definitely has been addressed. Well, Kurt, I appreciate you coming in here to talk to us a little about this. As we finish up, what is it that you enjoy most about what you do, that as a business owner who's been doing this for so long?
Yeah, knowing that I can lay my head on the bed at night, that I've done my best and helped people out, you know, and got out there and just worked for you, you know, because that's what you're supposed to do as a business person. You try to help people out the best you can, you know. So, and you want to advocate for them. You want to help them out and hold their hand when needed, you know. And some people even have help writing checks out because they can't do that, you know. So
Make sure that check is properly filled out to the right people for the right amount to make sure everything is taken care of.
But do your diligence and make sure that at least they've been operating in the state of Missouri or Illinois, whichever, and make sure that you get a background on them, man. If you don't know them, and if they come as a referral, that's a pretty good idea. You ought to use them, you know. So.
There you go. Well, thanks for staying with us here for a half hour. We'll be talking to your son soon. This is the Your Little Castle Show, everybody. Giddy up.